Good. Thanks for sharing that, Peter. So I'd just like to give you an update today on some notices and give you a special update on where we are with reopening the church. So let me just get this up first of all, and then here we go. Okay, so first of all, uh, let me go back to this one. Okay, sorry, folks. Turning to our building. Okay. Oh, I've lost the slide there. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Okay, so what's coming up? Well, as we've said, Scholz is going to share a message with us this morning, and then from today, from this afternoon, he's on annual leave for a couple of weeks. So if you're trying to reach him for anything related to youth or even our Life Matters videos, we'll mention something about that in a moment. He's not around for the next 2 weeks. Food bank, we thank you. Some people have offered to help pick up food for us on 3 days. We really need the food picked up from Morrison's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But we did run into a bit of a problem last week. A member of the church went to pick up the food, and the security guard there asked for a letter, which of course we haven't been asked for up until this time, and would not allow her to take away the food. So I will draft up a letter tomorrow morning, and I'll send a copy of that out, or if you can drop by the church to pick it up, that would be great. We do need people, please, still to pick this up. So if you've agreed to do that and you can't do it any week, please let me know. We only had ended up having one person last week who went and picked up on a Monday. So there's a lot of food at Morrison's for us to pick up. We have stopped the other pickups from Lidl and Food Warehouse, but we do, as again stress, need help, please, from someone to pick up. All you need to do is take a copy of this letter, keep it in your car, take it with you, and if anyone does ask for identification, show them the letter. Um, our prayer meeting is on this week on Thursday night at 7:45. We hope that you'll be able to join us. Just another reminder to everyone about our prayer web that is in place. So we want to encourage everyone who has people that you're praying for. If you don't contact those who or haven't been contacting them recently, please send them a message this week. We would like all those who are being prayed for to receive regular contact, especially during this period where we're not seeing one another. So again, please contact the people that you're praying for and ask how you can pray for them. And please do that this week. As I said, we are continuing to produce our Life Matters. Scholz uploaded episode number 4 this week, which is a testimony from Debbie Fanning and a little word about how God opens doors in our lives. That came out very clearly in Debbie's testimony. Please watch that, particularly on Facebook or Instagram, whatever social media platform you use. Put a comment, and that way the word will get out to others about those Life Matters. We are going to produce some others over the next month when Scholz comes back. So we probably won't do any more for the next 2 weeks, and then we've got a few more people lined up to do them. So again, please watch those if you can. Okay, so we sent out a survey, a notification to the church on the 4th of July. And on that date, we said to everyone, we need to know from each of you whether or not you are planning to return to the building if we reopen in the middle of August. So we sent that out to 62 households. 28 households responded saying they would return in mid-August if we opened up the church. 8 said they would not return yet due to health issues. 8 said they might return, and 18 households we did not hear back from. So what does that mean? What will church look like? Well, I want to thank Chris Stewart, John Bertram, and Scholz. We've been part of a little group that have met every Friday for the last few weeks to talk through what changes we need to put in place. We've been trying to keep an update on what the Scottish Government are saying. There's a really, really helpful video with Professor Jason Leach that we've all watched, talking specifically about places of worship. So this is what it will look like. when we return. There will be distancing measures in place. When people come to the church, there will be an entry route, a path, corridor, whatever you want to call it. There will be a somewhere set up so that we can enter the church on a certain way and exit on a certain way. That we may even exit from another door. We're not sure about that yet, but there will be distancing measures put in place. We've said 1 to 2 meters. Currently, the Scottish Government are still saying a 2 meter distance. Obviously, over the next few weeks, we may get updates on that, but that's the current information that we've been given. John has put out chairs in the church, and if we have an area of the church set aside for families to use, so that could be a family of 6 sitting together or a family of 4 or 5, and another part of the church with either single chairs or couples sitting together, we could get a maximum of 30 to 35 people in the main hall on the Sunday morning. There's a possibility that we might be able to have an overflow area. The cafe area is one suggestion where we might be able to get a few more people to come in. But those are the rough numbers that we're looking at of how many we could get into the building. As we've said, on the left-hand side, we're setting out rows 2 meters apart for families to sit in. And on the other side, double chairs or single chairs for couples or singles to sit in. We've ordered industrial size hand sanitizers, and we're going to place those in the lobby. As you come in, ask everyone to please use that. There will be one in the main sanctuary, and there will be one in the basement area as well. We're also asking that everyone to please clean their own chair after use on a Sunday morning. We will provide wipes, but it just means that the deacons won't have to wipe down all of the chairs when they're stacking them. It would help us if everyone wipes their own chair. So those are just some of the practical things of what it's going to look like when we come to the building. What will we not be allowed to do? Well, as you probably gathered, we are not allowed to sing because that will spread droplets into the air. So there'll be no singing initially, unless the government, of course, make an announcement to the contrary. There will be no communion and passing around communion cups and bread or wafers or whatever it is that churches pass around. There'll be no communal tea and coffee where we're making teas and coffees and biscuits and stuff like that and passing that amongst one another. Face masks are not mandatory, but are recommended. So as we stress, it is not mandatory that you wear a face mask when you come to church. That's what Jason Leach said, but the government are still recommending it as an extra safety measure. So people are saying, well, why come? What can we do? Well, we still will have music, either video, or we'll have a worship team who can play music from the front. We'll still have prayer times together where people can pray and lead us in prayer. We can still share testimonies, and we're thinking of maybe doing that on a Sunday morning, of having different people to share, like we've been doing for the Life Matters. There will still be a message that we can hear. We'll still be able to fellowship. We'll still be able to talk to one another and interact. We may even create some time after the sermon for people to stay around and chat about it, but there will be time to talk and have fellowship. There'll still be children's talks, and there will still be Sunday school. So quite a bit we will be able to do. Practically though, what will we need you to do? We need you to cooperate with us in this measure. First of all, we will send a note out to everyone by email and WhatsApp because we need people to notify us in advance if they are attending. So I'm sorry, folks, you won't just be able to show up on a Sunday morning whether you decide to or not. You really need to let us know in advance because, as we've said, we can only get a certain number of people in the building. Secondly, we will have a register. So those who are at the door will have a register of everyone's names, and they will check when people arrive. Again, that is something the government are asking churches to do, to keep a register of who has come to a service so that we know who is in the building and who comes. Thirdly, we have completed a risk assessment. Chris Stewart has worked really hard on that. How we need to use our building to comply with insurance companies as well as the government, and we've sent that to all of our outside rentals, and they have to read that, sign off on that, and let us know when they will be returning as well. And they will have to do the same things that we're asking you to do. They will have to clean down chairs, tables as they use them, social distance, and use the hand sanitizers that are provided. And finally, we are continuing to do Zoom Church. So we're in the process of ordering some new AV equipment, a good quality camera, some special lighting. We have checked out that the church is set up for broadband to be able to do that. We're going to continue to do Zoom Church on a Sunday morning and to make that available to people who can't come to the building. So that will continue. And finally, just let me share this passage with you this morning from Hebrews chapter 10. The writer says this, and this is just an encouragement to us, because we might be thinking, well, I don't know that I really want to come back to church, or what's the point in coming back to church, and why should we even bother? Well, we don't know the circumstances of Hebrews 10, but the author says this. Sorry, let me put it up there. I just lost that. There we go. Therefore, brothers and sisters, since we have confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, and he's talking here about entering God's presence. He's saying we can come before God. We can come into the very holy place, the presence of God. How can we do that? By the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way opened us through the curtain that is his body. And since we have a great priest over the house of God, so he's really saying, listen, we can still enter God's presence. Jesus has opened the way for us to come and experience and know God. So what should we do about that? 3 things he says. First of all, let us draw near to God. Whether it's on Zoom and that's how you continue to do it, or when we come back together, let's draw near to God with a sincere heart, with the full assurance that faith brings, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience, having our bodies washed in pure water. What he's really saying there is, you've been forgiven. Your consciences have been washed clean by God, and you've been baptized. That's really what he's saying. God has dealt with our sins. We've been baptized. We've been forgiven. So let's draw near to God. Secondly, he says, let us hold unswervingly to the hope we professed, for he who promised is faithful. And we do have a hope. We have a hope that we're going to come through this time. We have a hope that God will never leave us or abandon us, that he is always with us and loves us, and his goodness will never leave us, as Peter said earlier. But thirdly, and I want to leave you with this morning, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds. And let us not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another all the more as you see the day approaching. Whether that's the Lord's Day, whether that's the day when we can meet together again in August, or the day when Jesus returns, whatever that means, let us not give up meeting together, brothers and sisters, but let's encourage one another and spur one another on. So I hope we'll be able to do that very soon. God bless you all.
Thanks, Don. And I'm going to hand over to Helen now, and Helen's going to speak to the kids. Thanks, Helen.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. If there are any boys and girls out there, if they want to come and go in front of the screen, that would be great. And yes, and also I want the kids to be able to speak to me for the first wee bit. So I don't know if it's possible to do a kind of general unmuting, or just the kids. I don't know if that's possible. Mark, can you come around so I can see?
I know how to do it.
So I wanted to ask the boys and girls if they can tell me anything that we celebrate.
Oh,
Valentine's
Day.
Valentine's Day. That's not even on my list, Polly. Well done. Valentine's Day.
Christmas.
Was that Christmas? Was that Christmas?
A wedding.
A wedding?
Easter.
What else do we celebrate?
Boxing Day.
Birthday.
Boxing Day.
Goodness, it's hard working out who's speaking when you can't see everybody. definitely advantage of getting back to church. Okay, could everybody mute themselves now, apart from me? Oh, there we go. And my own children are just going to have to keep your hands over your mouths. Okay, one of the other things that we celebrate is being on holiday. And I wanted to show you, because the Stuarts are not at home at the moment. So this is the view. I don't know if you can see it.
You can put the camera
Out of our window. Very pretty view, even though it is in fact raining all the time. The joys of Britain. So the Stuarts are in the Lake District, which is a place in England, quite close to Scotland, with lots and lots of mountains and lots of lakes and lots of pretty rivers and lovely walks. And we are on holiday. And it got me thinking about what the word holiday means. Now, it's probably really obvious where the word holiday came from, but it comes from holy day, okay? Holy day. And it's a word that comes from the Christian culture, and it was used to describe days, special days, when the Christian church recognized something important and everything stopped. So everybody stopped going to work, everybody stopped being busy and worrying and running around all the time, and they got together to celebrate this particular celebration in the Christian calendar, whatever it might be. And the word holiday over the years has become used for taking time out. Now in America, they don't use the word holiday. Holiday in America just counts for these Christian celebrations, these days in the church's calendar where everybody gets together to recognize something special, be it Pentecost or Christmas or whatever. They use the word vacation in America. You might have heard that word. Going on a vacation, exactly. And the vacation means that you vacate, you leave your normal, busy life behind. And at the moment, we are on holiday. Now, not everybody's on holiday, I recognize that. But if you're a kid, you are on holiday. Now, one of the things Mark said to me about homeschool and why he didn't like homeschool is because he said being at home was a place where you should relax and being at school was a place where you should work. And I think one of the most difficult things for boys and girls and mums and dads and everybody else is this kind of muddy line between home and work, because there hasn't been a line. Home has been a place where we work, where we rest, where we enjoy, where we relax, where we get maybe anxious and worried about things if we're grown up. And it's not had that clear line that when you leave work, you kind of go home and it's different. And I think it's been really difficult for kids as well. I know my kids have really struggled with home suddenly being a place where they're expected to study or to do lots of work or to do lots of school. So when the church had holidays, the church would get together and they would celebrate whatever it was they were celebrating, and they would pray and they would relax and they would enjoy each other's company and they would chill. And I think it's really important that when you're on holiday, whenever that might be, that you are able to do that and not take your work with you. Now, obviously Zoom for church is great, and it means that even though we're on holiday, we can still come to church. But other meetings, it's probably a good idea not to have them, not to do any schoolwork. That's awful, Mark, isn't it? Yeah, Mark, desperate to do schoolwork.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. So it's about relaxing. So I wanted to say to all the boys and girls, but also to all the mums and dads and grannies and grandpas and aunties and uncles and brothers and sisters and everybody out there, whether you're a kid or not, to make sure that you have a holiday. My dear husband, who I love with my whole heart, suggested that maybe when he was on holiday, he might have some submitted meetings, and he got absolute short shift about that. So it's about not having your normal routine, having a rest, enjoying each other's company. But in the same way that the word holiday means holy day, don't forget God in everything. Chat to him about what you're doing. Be very, very grateful that even though our holidays might look a bit different from normal, we were meant to be in Canada at the moment as a family, celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. It hasn't quite happened. So even though we're in Britain and we're having staycation, some of us are staying at home and doing holidays at home and doing fun things around where we live. Some of us have come to places in Britain. But wherever you are, wherever you go to have that time out, make sure it is time out. Make sure that you say thank you to God for all the amazing things that we have, and the fact that we can relax and switch off and spend time with our family. and make sure that we are saying thank you and celebrating each other. But always remember God. It's not a holiday from God. God comes with us wherever we go, any part of the world we go to. God comes with us, and we can chat to him and enjoy his company. So just relax and say to your parents, no, put your Zoom away, put your phone away, and make sure that you are all spending time together and relaxing. So have a brilliant day. I don't think we are still here for another week having holiday. I know other people are going away. If you're having a holiday, have a brilliant, brilliant time, but make sure that you switch off. So bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Helen, for reminding us the importance of relaxation. Even God took a holiday. Genesis tells us that on the seventh day, God rested and had a break. So really important that we take a holiday. But the work continues, and our work when we come back from holiday is building God's kingdom. We're going to sing or share a song now, one that we know well, Build Your Kingdom Here.